Hello and welcome to the Metabolic Balance Stories podcast. This is where we share real insights and education into the Metabolic Balance program. I'm delighted to share that I'm joined today by the expert panel of some wonderful practitioners here in Australia. And I want to dive straight in with our first topic, which is men's health and using metabolic balance to support men. We know that there's an awful lot of narrative and discussion on women's health, which is absolutely amazing and really, really important. But I also think that we need to have this discussion on supporting men and how their health can be optimized really, very straightforwardly with metabolic balance, because I actually have always really enjoyed working with men and helping them understand their food, because they can often be very focused. You get a really nice focus when you're working with men. How would you talk about it, Karen? Let me bring you into the discussion here.
I love that you said the word focused, because that is absolutely what I find with men. When men come in, like, I love working with women, I love working with men, so I'm definitely not picking a side, but I love the fact that men are so eager to actually learn, and they listen, and they actually do what you tell them to do. They're kind of seeking these. I think, sort of, as females, we do a lot of research, we kind of understand it all, and we have this vision of kind of how it works. But men tend to come in with more of an open mindset. And there's more and more men that are coming in that are actually going, okay, I know that I need to do something different. The stopping, like, a lot of people, like, when they're working, they'll stop at the roadside sort of cafes and eat things, and then they're just not feeling their best, and they're putting on weight, and they're just generally not their optimal self. So then they come in and you go, okay, we're going to kind of change everything, and they're really open to it, and it's like the barriers just drop straight away. But the results that they get are incredible. I think there's this fear with men that they probably get this, oh, what am I going to eat? Am I just going to eat some lettuce, or am I actually going to be able to eat real food? And then you sort of tell them the types of foods they can have. And yeah, like, I feel men are taking a proactive kind of approach to their health now and feeling incredible. And off the back of men, I've actually had then wives that wanted to come on the journey. So it used to be women, and then their men would come along the journey. Where it's actually flipped, and I get to see a guy, and then his partner or wife or something will also want to do MB.
Yeah, it can go either way, really, can't it? But I mean, Emily, where would you say that is the real sort of health goals that men come from metabolic balance or come to you to work?
I think I get a mixture. I get the ones that are just putting on weight, working so hard to support their families, fatigued, under the weather. Then I get the guys that want to improve performance. So want to take more of that optimization route. And there's a lot of talk about hormones at the moment, especially with women in menopause, but there's also a lot of talk about testosterone, right? And we know that testosterone changes in males if their metabolic health is not on par. So with either of those cases, we see this massive improvement in just how these guys feel, because we're accidentally improving all these hormones and sophisticated pathways in the background. And so all of a sudden, they can get up in the morning, they can go for a run if they want to, they can hit the gym, or, their performance and their ability to fulfill all those roles that men do in the world, they feel they can do those better. It's really awesome seeing that evolve.
I think it's that whole real reset of the body, isn't it? Heather, what would you say about the reset of the body?
Yeah, I agree with the others that the thing with working with men is the results are staggeringly fast. Like, I've had men from as young as 16, and the oldest man I've looked after was 87, and all of them get staggeringly quick results across the whole spectrum of health, whether it's their stress, their sleep, predominantly their waist measurement, just their ability to cope with life and energy in general. So men love, I find, is as a rule, they love structure and routine, and that's what metabolic balance gives you. Is it's black and white. There's no grey. They know exactly what to do and when, and they're from all walks of life. I've had lots of tradies. I've had, executives, accountants, all sorts of things. But sometimes you've got to tweak it. If they're starting work at 4:30 in the morning and going through till 7 at night, we need to change their plan a little bit to compensate. But it is quite, it's amazing, and they're great. Sometimes they'll come in and say, I haven't seen them for 5 or 6 weeks, and they'll say, oh, I did have one bread roll. Okay, is that all that's gone wrong for the month? Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I love working with men, and especially the speed of the results.
I think it is that speed of the results that because they have the focus, they have the structure. I think probably I don't want to generalize here, but the cooking part of it. I think what would you say, Alex, about people being able to kind of like follow, like men being able to follow it really closely?
Well, again, I think it's the structure. Like, it is such a beautiful, simple, they're usually such beautiful, simple, uncomplicated suggestions for food. Men find it, they really sit comfortably with it. I'm with all the others. I agree with everything. I do think the hormonal thing is actually outstanding, how quickly that corrects itself. And Emily, you said when they get up in the morning, we can take that another way. We find that I found erectile dysfunction comes back. So erectile function, not dysfunction, I should say. But and I often get husband and wife teams, and I'm probably a little bit different. I haven't had too many men come on their own volition. It's always the wife that has said, or I've had lots of mother and son teams, which is very interesting. Yeah, and of course straight away all the women go, oh, look how much he's lost or whatever, because they are incredibly focused, and they love the simplicity of the food. And they do follow instructions really well. And they're always motivated because they get such great results. Guys, you need to come and do Metabolic Balance. It is so wonderful. It is outstanding for all things for men. I just find it's almost like that. I hope this doesn't turn all our ladies away, but it almost works twice as fast for males.
That can actually be the frustrating part when you're supporting a couple as well, isn't it?
I warn them, in fact. I do warn them that, and I've had the same thing as you, Heather. Like, I've had like beer drinking, that's generalization, but tradies who have their pie and their Coke, their Diet Coke on smoko, and then they get mushrooms and seeds and you go, oh dear Lord. And they do so well. Guys, they do so well. And I guess because I get lots of couples, the women are right up to it, and they're preparing the foods, but even like it seems to empower them too for cooking a bit, because it's not my kitchen rules or anything. It's just simple, honest, good food.
I think it's that just the knowledge exactly of what you need to do without any of the guesswork. I think that's what and there's no waste of time while you sort of wait for things to happen. You find out your food, you get going on eating your food, and hey, you start to feel better. So, really pretty quickly, don't you? Within a few days, weeks, we've got some real shift of the dial, so to speak, into a better place. Karen, what would you say to like a couple who are thinking of doing it, where the man might be a little bit reticent if this is really for them?
I guess what I do is when I've got a couple, I explain that it's real foods. Like, it's not, like, we're not doing the shakes, we're not doing the supplements. It's not this kind of restrictive diet. It is this incredible list of foods that they're going to get. And I think once men realize they're actually going to be able to eat real food, that you kind of see them go, oh, okay, I really might have a go at this then. And even like Alex was saying about like sitting on a worksite with your nuts and your seeds and things like that, men are more likely to sit on the worksite with nuts and seeds than with a shake or with something like they just want to eat real foods. And also like saying to them, you can still go out and have your social life. it's just foods. It's food you're going to find in the supermarkets. Like when you get to the stage, it'll be food you'll be able to find in restaurants and things like that. So, and then when a couple does it together, like definitely the results is a big thing. I definitely talk about the results that men tend to release a lot more weight quickly than women. But the fact that they actually come together and they start talking about food and they start preparing food together, or the husband will prepare foods for the wife. Like I love that it brings that back together as well.
Yeah, I remember helping out such a lovely couple who the husband had started snoring for, snoring. That's one of the big things, isn't it, as well? The husband had started snoring. They'd moved into separate bedrooms because they were drifting apart. And I just remember the consult where they came in and they just said, "Yeah, we've moved back into the same bedroom." And then they gave each other a little wry smile as to say, "Yeah, it's fun." I was just like going, "Oh, this is too wonderful." And it's that reconnection, isn't it? The reconnection both in the kitchen and just in every aspect of life, that you're awake and you are able to, enjoy each other again.
I don't think there's any limitations on what men can do this program too, because I've had miners like that are on mining sites where they go on site for 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off. They've succeeded. I've just started another truck driver last week. He's doing long haul truck driving. They've all got their little fridges in their trucks, lots of tradies. So, you think, oh, the lifestyle will prevent it. But if they turn it on and they commit, it doesn't matter where they work or what the work environment is, they can make it happen. All the other is just excuses, because I've seen people do it in really difficult working environments and they nail it.
And I think one of the other things is it's all about the food, and it's not about having to be in the gym for long periods of time. It's not that exercising for hours thinking that's how you're going to get, what you have to do. Whereas we will need it good exercise. Exercise is, of course, amazingly important. Movement, exercise, that's vital. But really, to get that metabolic health, you've got to start with the food.
And it's surprising sometimes. Like, I'm just thinking recently, I had again a couple. She's done MB in the past, and she wanted to do a new plan, and she decided the husband would do it with her because he's been diagnosed with Barrett's esophagus, which is, as we know, the erosion of the bottom of the esophagus from long-term reflux, and they wanted to get that sorted out. So he was ex-RAF, and he'd been in the reseal, deseal, which is highly toxic. They get into the tanks, the fuel tanks, if anyone doesn't know. And anywho, so yes, the reflux is gone. But he had this, I've known these couple for many years, decades probably, and he had this horrible postnasal drip. And I thought, oh, well, it's probably all burnt away from when he was in, because there was no PPE in those days. Guess what? Guess what happened last week? No more postnasal drip. I mean, it's such a little thing, but it's such a big thing.
Such a big thing. Yeah. Reflux. You just reminded me of reflux. Yeah. That reflux as well, that is such a common thing for men to suffer from, as another thing. Yeah, it's like you don't have a deficiency of Gaviscon, do you? You actually just need to be eating more food. Yeah.
So I've been working a lot with a lot of men from a sports perspective as well. So a lot of men, when you talk, Terry, about like spending hours in the gym and things like that, had a lot of men that have been wanting to achieve their health goals, but they were using the gym to do it, and especially around the abdominal fat. So they come to me and they go, I just can't shift this abdominal fat. Like I'm literally spending hours in the gym. I am doing this. I'm running. I'm doing everything else, but nothing can shift the abdominal fat. And once we actually get the right foods into them, once we start getting the proteins in, once we kind of get their body used to actually utilizing fat stores, pulling back on the exercise, but giving them targeted exercise, they reduce their amount of time in the gym, but their body composition changes dramatically by eating the right foods. So it's for that purpose as well. For a lot of men that really want to they want that six pack, but it's just not been achievable. When you kind of switch in and get the foods in, you can actually start to see real results that way as well.
And that's probably about the foods, taking the foods out that that are causing inflammation, right? Inflammation increases cortisol, cortisol increases tummy fat, and then they just feel a whole heap better. And the six pack was hiding under there anyway. There it is. There it is.
They get ripped from their food. That's the amazing thing. Yeah.